wrong with it. Come on, go. Come on. No thinking about it. Step up there. Timber. Here, you want to go up there? Here. Here. There you go. Bye. Bye, guys. Ah. Day one complete. We could probably go for a couple more hours, but we're gonna go fishing. Hold on, let me go turn the generator off. All right, that's better. So there we go. This is like a 4x4-ish solar shed. I didn't want to put the batteries and all that stuff in the cabin or under the cabin in case something were to go wrong and something were to catch on fire. So I know this is only 10 feet from the cabin, but there's a possibility that if something bad would happen, the cabin wouldn't also go up in flames. We could always move it a little bit farther away too. So there you go, day one. Jenny's making dinner. I gotta get down there before it gets too late so we can go out on the water for a couple hours. We'll take you out there with us, I'm sure, for at least a minute or two. You guys see our grass? It was a little burned out yesterday and I mowed it and it poured last night, so it helped. It's looking really good. It's a little thin in spots, but anyway, I gotta go. We'll show you more stuff soon.
All right, guys, we're out here fishing for the evening at our favorite fishing hole here. Timber here is protecting us from that stump over there. It's really scary. That stump right there. Yeah. Timber's pretty worried about it for us. He's been barking at it.
Timber knows something that we don't.
It's been a little bit of an adventure getting out here. Starting to leave, I noticed there's no fishing poles, so we have to go back and get fishing poles. Then we get here and Jason forgets to put the plug in the boat, so now the boat's got 50 extra pounds in it. So it's been quite the adventure already, but maybe we'll catch some fish. If not, we'll just take you along for a little cruise. It's so pretty here.
Wait a minute. There he is. Did you get that? Were you recording? Actually recording that time?
Yeah, stop talking and ruining it.
Why am I ruining it?
Asking if I'm recording it, being a smartass. Oh yeah. Woohoo! Timber wants to see it.
You gonna lick it like your brother used to? There we go. Little 12-incher. He's healthy though. He's like fat.
It's Mom's trying to catch fish. Show everybody how it's done. Like a professional. Let's try it.
Timber tea. I got another one. I have to give Mom the special lure.
Watch your face, Timber.
Look at that, guys. That's a beautiful little smallie there. "15.5 inches. Probably a little pound and a half. So, beautiful fish. right, guys, that little bottom trim piece, if you watched part 16 of our cabin build last year, you saw us do the live edge siding. Well, the live edge siding is also lap siding, where it laps over each other, so you have to create an angle. If you want to see how that's done a little bit better, go back and watch part 16, our live edge siding of the cabin. This Chinese made 8,000 watt inverter, continuous power 5,000, so that's good. But it's 120 vac output, 12 volt DC, 5,000 watt continuous power, so that's actually better. Positive, negative lugs, 4 AC plugs, ground, neutral, and power. Hoping I can wire that up to a plug I bought for a 30 amp plug. That way I can move the plug from the cabin to this, or to a generator if we need to for the time being. We have the switch on and off, and this should tell us our voltage. So let's get this hooked up. Alright guys, see how all 7 of those line up in the back in a nice pretty row? That was all planned by yours truly. I measured it to the precise width so they would fit in there. Actually, I didn't measure anything precise at all. I just made a 4x4 shed, and it fit good. So I don't do anything precise. I told them that this was all done on purpose. Everything was measured to perfection so it would fit in there.
Yeah, I hope you guys are all spitting your drink out right now as you giggle about that.
I've never really planned anything in my entire life.
Those of you who have followed us for our whole journey know that that is a false statement, and I hope that you are drinking a coffee or a water or something and spitting out your drink right now. Because
shenanigans.
Jason likes to tell stories.
All right, guys. Amazon Prime Day was what, a month ago?
Mm-hmm.
And we picked up these 7 Renogy AGM batteries. They're sealed lead acid batteries. They were normally $235 a piece, and they were on sale for $150 a piece. The reason I went with AGM batteries is sealed lead acid, so it doesn't burn off the liquid inside of it. I am not great with maintenance. I knew 100% that with a solar system, They're charging and discharging at all times a lot, so you need to top them off every month. I am not the guy that maintains stuff super well. I don't completely neglect stuff, but I do it like every other service. So these are Renogy 12 volt 100 amp hour sealed lead acid batteries. We picked up these AGM batteries also because lithium iron phosphate batteries are a far larger investment up front. They supposedly, you know, in the long run, because they cycle so many times, are cheaper in the long run. But the only problem with that is in northern Michigan, in cold climates, lithium iron phosphate batteries will not charge below freezing. That's my understanding. Lead acid or sealed lead acid batteries are not that way. These will charge below freezing, which it is below freezing here in northern Michigan for 4 or 5 months out of the year. So lithium iron phosphate batteries do me no good. Hopefully these will take care of us for a long time. I know they say that lead acids only last 3 to 5 years, but in my experience, if they're well maintained and taken care of, you can get more like 5 to 10 years out of them. That's what we're going with. Again, the two main reasons was upfront expense. Let's see, we got 700 amp hours. They say with the lead acids they only go to half, so let's say we have 300 amp hours bank here, 350 amp hour bank here. To get an equivalent with lithium iron phosphate, it would cost us $3,000 to $4,000, and they don't charge below freezing. So that's our primary reasons. If this treats us well, great. If it doesn't work out, we could upgrade later. We're gonna have a very low use system. It's not gonna draw a lot, so this is probably actually overkill. We've been using that one lead acid battery, that one deep cycle lead acid battery for what, a month or two? And it's been doing us good. So this is way overkill probably, but overkill is better than underkill. We're not a fancy channel. I'm not gonna have a cabin with a dishwasher and washing machines and nothing crazy in here that's gonna draw a lot. So I'm trying to operate off of a 30 amp system. I have a 30 amp RV plug going into the electric box. I would like to keep it that way. We might do a more permanent setup at some point. But with what I have right now, we're staying at 30 amp. The wire's prepared for 30 amp or capable of 30 amp. You know, we have a 4,000 watt inverter, but nothing in the cabin's gonna draw more than 20 to 30 amps. It's gonna be set up just like an RV. I bought a fusible enclosed switch interrupter. This is prepared for 110 or 220. What we're gonna do is just, instead of me getting some fancy inline fuse for the positive wire from the batteries to the inverter, I am going to use this box and just use one side of it, and the wire is gonna feed through here, and then I got those old style screw in 30 amp fuses. I don't want anything in this system to be hard to find or like specialty. This is these little screw in fuses. I mean, you guys have seen these little screw-in fuses. These have been around. This is what they used to do in all the houses in the 50s and 60s. All this stuff's easy to find. I don't want some difficult system to find parts for. This is going to be our on-off switch, and it's going to protect the system with a 30 amp fuse. So if it ever draws too much, it'll pop that fuse. So I'll discuss this with an electrician to make sure I'm doing everything right or thinking everything's okay. But yeah. I don't see why this wouldn't work perfect. I have a 30 amp style RV box. I'm gonna mount this inside the solar shed. That way we could plug the cabin into the solar shed, or we could plug it into a generator. I don't have a dual function inverter charger combo pack. I just have the inverter and this little charge controller that runs on the 400 watt system. I'm gonna have to manually move some stuff around if the solar bank goes dead, or if, you know, we need more power for some reason other than the solar. I can unplug it from the solar shed, plug it into the generator directly. I did parallel all these batteries. I don't have enough to connect the last two, but I do have enough to connect these 5. Hook our positive to this side. When you parallel batteries, you don't want to draw off of the same battery. You don't want your negative there and your positive here, because puts too much draw on this single battery. So we'll put the positive here to go to our inverter, and we'll take the negative from over here. What that does is it creates a giant battery bank. That way you're not putting more pressure on one end of the system. I'm gonna be crimping and doing this and mounting some boards and doing little stuff. I'll try to take you along, but I don't want to bore you, so you'll get a few minutes here and there. All right, nice. So there's that. We can turn that off to the cabin whenever we're not here. Just let the battery bank charge. So again, this box is made for 240. You can run 2 lines of 110 through here. I'm only going to use one for the positive of lines. You don't need a fuse on the negative. My only question, and I just thought of this, is going to be 12 volt, not 120 volt. So I don't know if this fuse will work properly. Maybe I got the wrong type of fuse. This is how I operate, guys. I would assume amperage is amperage, so maybe I need a special type of fuse, and this will end up being a total waste of my time. But we got breakers in the house, you know, for everything set up properly. But I'm just hoping / assuming that 30 amps is 30 amps, whether it's through DC or AC. All I'm doing here, guys, is creating the wire here to go to the battery bank. It's going to go through this one side of the fuse, and then there's a lug here, so the power is going to come out of here and then down to my inverter. Alright, guys, on off switch. Power is going to come back up into here. I wanted this up off the ground, out of the way, so I could get in here and work on stuff. I got lots of little washers, lock washers, and I got the little lock nuts. I don't want anything working loose, so that's why I'm being extra cautious. Nothing's hooked up to power yet. This is my wire coming from my fuse box. I'm hooking it to the back. Okay, guys, there we go. The ground, I told you, like I said, we're taking the positive from the left side of the battery bank and the negative from over here. Should be getting to a moment of truth here where I can at least turn everything on and see what kind of power we got. Then we still got to hook everything up to the plug, but we're getting close, Moment of truth. The keys to the Explorer are under the seat, I think. Okay. So if I get electrocuted and you need to drag my dead body somewhere,
don't get electrocuted. How about that?
Here we go. It'll be a little hard to see. It's flashing between 5 and 13.2. 13.2 is the voltage. I don't know what the 5 is. Let's test to see if we got power. There we go. 116 volts. So I'm going to hook up wires to this, into this box now. And then we plug the cabinet into it. All right, guys, success. Let's go get something. Let's plug it in. This draws 5.5 amps. I need to just bolt that down. I need to run a wire from these down into the plug box, and then we can plug the cabin into it. I don't have the solar hooked up to it yet. That's like a 2-minute thing, kind of. We pulled this temporary system out of here that I set up a couple months ago. It served us well. But we're moving on to bigger and better things. Didn't burn the cabin down, so good. So this, in theory, could just plug right into our inverter. Just like we were plugging into this inverter, but we're gonna, like I said, we got the 30 amp plug now, so that'll be a better setup.
It's going into the cabin, John and Sherry. Wizard of Oz stuff.
Alright, here we go, guys. Now we could mount this in the solar shed. Basically, when we parallel these, we're creating one giant battery. Okay, so if you hook them up to this side, all these batteries over here don't get as much juice, like, or they get a different draw. So if we hook the negative to this end and then the positive to this end, it's using the whole battery, like it's fusing all of the batteries.
Okay.
That's why this is drawing power from this side, but it's grounded over here. If you guys need to see a quick, simple way to hook up this simple charge controller, go back and watch our bathhouse solar video and the solar video for the cabin. I did just like this quickie system. There we go. So this light came on. We gotta change this to green. So you always hook up your charge controller to your battery bank first. We got all our connections down here. Got all our connections down here that are easily labeled, positive and negative for the battery, positive and negative for the solar panel. This is telling us that we got battery juice here, and then we got red for red flooded. Well, we don't have red flooded anymore. We have green, we have sealed. We don't have flooded lead acid, we have sealed lead acid, AGMs now. So in order to change this wanderer over to a different mode, we have to hold the button for 7 seconds and it'll change it to blue. It should be blue next. Now it's blinking red. Like, there we go, blue, green, or that's yellow, red. I was just going through the cycles to show you blue, and then green is for sealed. So I assume we just stop touching it and it'll go to that, but maybe I have to hold it again. 2, 3, 4, 7. There we go. So now green light's telling us, the one on the right, that it's a sealed lead acid battery. Well, it's not a gel, it's not a flooded lead acid, it's not a lithium, it's a sealed AGM batteries. The battery is green, telling me that it's charged well. That's because these batteries were all fully charged when they came to us. And now we just gotta go hook up our solar panels, and then this will start charging it. Alright guys, we decided, because the solar panels aren't in their final resting place, instead of me running wires underneath the deck for no reason, we're just gonna lay them along the edge of the deck over here. I assume these lines are UV protected anyway, and it's not going to be here forever, maybe just a month until we get the siding done, hopefully. Then we can figure out what we need to do. We have the 4 solar panels all plugged back in to the 4-way reducer down to 1. Alright, so the 20-foot extensions are on, and they're going to the charge controller now. So we just don't have the 30 amp plug wrapped into the inverter yet. I don't have the little crimps to put on the end of the wires, so we're just going to plug the cabin into the inverter like we were before with the reducer for now. Battery light is green, which means they're good and charged. So when both of these lights blink, that's telling you it's fully charged. I don't know if we'll ever get fully charged because we only have 400 watts of solar panels, and we're gonna use quite a bit of juice here and there in the morning when Jenny's working, and then when the weather's not ideal, you don't get a lot of sun, so we'll just have to monitor it. Alright guys, my pretty lady and I are here. We worked really hard the last few days, and we now have a very nice solar shed.
Woohoo! No more generator.
So let's go check it out. Give you the run through real quick. You guys saw us build all this, but we just basically put a couple of maple beam runners on the ground. I created a floor. We put some corner posts. We put a couple of rafters, and we just used scrap stuff we had laying around, and a couple of old chunks of OSB that were perfect size, and then we had 2 pieces of metal left over from the cabin build last year. This is going to get trimmed up a little bit. I'm going to put a front board, face board on here. We're going to build out a ladder, you know, to support this. But for right now, it's all just hanging over. It's hanging over in the back too. I'm probably going to put some supports back there, and we're going to leave the generator under there. And I might box it in, so we'll figure that out for sure. But yeah, how do you like our live edge siding? I wanted it to look nice. I didn't want it to look like a crappy old shed, so it looks just like the cabin now. So pretty fancy, huh? So we just have the solar panel cables coming over here and running to the charge controller. Charge controller is charging the batteries right now with those 400 watts. We only have 6 of our 7 battery banks hooked up because I ran out of fittings and I can't find them anywhere. You guys saw us hook up the 12 volt to the back here, lag those onto our inverter. Now yesterday we popped a fuse when we ran the circular saw on this. I thought I blew my inverter up somehow, but you guys saw my makeshift, not makeshift, this is like a $15 fuse box with the screw-in fuses. I don't know how this is going to work on DC. I'm going to have to talk to an electrician and see if, I mean, this popped, so it did its job when I did that circular saw, but you just flip this up. That connects the power to the inverter. Now there's power to the back. We turn this on. This has a little reading that tells us 13.2 volts. And this is way overkill, I think, for us, but we got such a good deal on these batteries.
It's better to have too much than not enough.
Yeah, for that way we have
you can bank it up.
Yeah, that way on the sunny days it fills it up, and then if we have 2 or 3 days of crap weather, it saves it. I have this wire here coming from this 30 amp plug up, and we're gonna attach it to the inverter directly, so then we'll just plug the cabin right into it. So this solar shed, it's gonna charge while we're gone, but it's not gonna have any power going through anything. And we're gonna put a door on this, obviously. I just don't know what to do. We're not
rushing it.
So I'm not rushing it, so we're going to tarp it off, and I'm going to staple it so the rain stays out of there.
Do a little bit of research to figure out how we can best do a door so it doesn't sag and doesn't fall, and doesn't whack you in the head if you do it up. So we got to do a little research. Yeah, we got to figure out what we want to do the best. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy and like what we did here. The solar shed, and it's going to be, this is our powerhouse now. Thanks guys again. Thanks for watching.
Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I hate asking you guys that because I know you know how to do it, but
some people don't realize how important it is.
Yeah,
it really helps.
Yep, and the guys who do ask, get the likes and shares and subscriptions. So I'm gonna ask once in a while now. So, share, guys. Help us out. All right, we appreciate you all. All your support is greatly appreciated. Best wishes. All right, dinner's done. Show it to us. We need to get to 10,000 subscribers, guys. We're getting desperate.
Yum.